Hi guys! So today's video is going to be another book haul video. I feel like I film these every other week. But recently in my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, I asked you guys to list some book recommendations that you had for me, and I actually ended up finding a bunch of them at my local used bookstores. First up, I got the first book in the Legend series by Marie Lu. I got this at my local used bookstore called Bookman's, and then I ended up finding another two in the series at a different used bookstore near where I lived called Changing Hands. For the ones that you guys recommended to me, I'm probably not really going to go into a detailed synopsis of them because you guys probably already know what they're about if you've recommended them. Next up, I ended up getting all three of the books in the Shatter Me trilogy. I found the second one at my local used bookstore for really cheap, and then I saw that the first one and the third one were very inexpensive on Amazon, and I have Amazon Prime, so it didn't cost me anything to have them shipped. I don't know a ton about this series. I know that I'm super late to it because it's been all over BookTube for a while and lots of people have read it already, but the back of the book says addictive, intense, and oozing with romance. The next book I got was Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. One of you said it's one of your favorite books though, and it's not particularly crazy long, which is kind of nice because so many of the books I read are really long. The name kind of gives away what the book's about. The next books I'm super excited for because I saw they had box sets on Amazon and Book Depository and Barnes & Noble, but they were super expensive. And I was thinking I was gonna have to dish out a lot of money to get it, or I'd have to wait a long time until I found it. And then at Bookman's, I found all three of them, and for super cheap, and I had store credit, so I ended up getting them for free, and that would be the Joe Abercrombie series, shoot, what is it called? The First Law trilogy. I mentioned in a video recently that I've been wanting to get more into adult fantasy again. I love adult fantasy, and so a couple of you mentioned this trilogy, and I'm just so excited because I looked up reviews and lots of people have good things to say about it. Another book recommendation that one of you gave to me that I found, and I can't believe I found in a beautiful hardcover, is Winter Song by S.J. Jones. On the back of the book, one of the reviews says, this story was rife with fairy tales, music, and enchantment. I've talked to you guys before that anytime I hear the words like royalty and assassins and thrones, I'm instantly intrigued, but music and fairy tales are pretty good ones for me too. If you can capture music in a book or fairy tales or anything like that, I'm instantly down to read it. The last book that came as a recommendation from one of you guys is called The Witch Hunter by Troy Smith, and I'm so excited for this because you guys know that I love the Witcher series, and this reminds me a lot of it based off of what it says on the back. It mentions like wraiths and basilisks and like monsters and everything. And that's not necessarily exactly like Witcher, but the tone of it feels really similar, and I love it. Anyway, though, moving right along from that, the next book I found is called Scythe by Neil Shusterman, and I have had my eye on this book for a long time. The concept of the book is that people no longer die, so they have to train these individuals to essentially go kill people. And I think it's like a crazy morbid concept, which I will eat up. The next book I got is very different from everything else that pretty much I ever buy, and that would be To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. I realized recently in my makeup book tag, one of the questions was name a book that brightened your day, and I thought about it and I was like, I don't have any books like that. I figured it was super cheap and on sale, and I should read stuff every now and then that makes me a little cheerier. The next books I have to preface with a story, and it's not an interesting or entertaining story whatsoever, but it's more of a rant. I bought these books in February, on February 18th, and I know this because I had to contact customer service a bajillion times, and I accidentally, when I ordered these books, put my mom's zip code instead of my zip code, which is only 2 digits off at the very end, and she lives like 10 minutes away, but apparently that tiny mistake of mine made the books like 3 months late. It was so frustrating, but the books I got are a butt ton of the UK Brandon Sandersons. There's the Mistborn. I have all 3 of the original Mistborn trilogy. I got all 3 of the second era of Mistborn, and I got parts 1 and 2 of Way of Kings, the 2 books in the Way of Kings series. The next book I got is called Corsana by Charles Wellington II, and it follows the main character named Christopher Knight, who's what's known as a psionic. He has the ability to manipulate things into happening just using his mind. Because of his power, he's always kind of kept to the shadows and just dreamt of being a hero, and then ships start capsizing off of the coast of Corsana, and there's a call to action, and he finally decides to answer that call along with a bunch of like misfit mercenaries, and it just sounds like super fun and adventurous. And on the back, the last slide says, in a world teeming with goblins, orcs, giants, and dragons, and danger lurking around every corner, all odds are against him. The next few books I got are all also adult fantasy. Like I said, I've been wanting to read more adult fantasy. 2 of the books, The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin and The Emperor's Blade by Brian Staveley, are both books that I saw on Possibly Literate's channel, who I'll link down below. She had nothing but pretty much good things to say about these, and she just said that she's reading through them so fast. The 5th season especially sounds really unique and really interesting. The magic system is derived from a series of natural disasters that happen every like 5th season or something like that. Emperor's Blade sounds a little bit more of a traditional fantasy, but either way, they're both multiple perspective, multiple point of view stories. I love stories like that. I've been craving more adult fantasy, so I'm super excited to jump into these. The last 2 books I got are very different from everything else. One of them is a book that one of you technically recommended to me, but I've already read it, and I don't actually own a copy of it. It was my mom's that I read, and that would be Tuesdays with Maury by Mitch Albom. This is a story about an old man who is passing away, and a young man who was a student of his. The old man was a professor, and every Tuesday the young man goes to visit him, and every Tuesday they just talk about different things in life, so marriage and finances and all those kinds of things. It's one of those stories that you can reread at different ages and your different points in your life and appreciate it and understand things differently or take away different things from it. It's a really beautiful story. I absolutely love it. It's one of my mom's favorites too. So if you haven't read this, I don't know that there's anybody out there that wouldn't like it. I highly, highly recommend this book. And lastly, I had a coupon at Barnes & Noble to get one of their like classics that are out right now, all those pretty versions they have of all the classic books. My sister has 2 little girls. They're basically toddlers. One of them's almost a kid now, which is crazy, and she loves to read. She has this like giant Dr. Seuss book with a bunch of Dr. Seuss stories, and she's memorized the entire book, and even though she like can't quite read yet, she can say every word on every page perfectly. It's kind of crazy, it's almost like creepy, but also super cute. So I like the idea of when she gets a little older, when she comes to visit, that I can read stories to her and with her. So when I saw this, I was like, this is just the perfect book for that. Anyway guys, that's it for my giant book haul video. I can't thank you guys enough for leaving all of your recommendations. I'm so excited to get into a lot of these and to get to read books that you guys love and connect with you guys a little bit more through that. If you guys have read any of these books, let me know that in the comment section down below. If you have more book recommendations, let me know that too. But otherwise, if you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the little bell icon so you get notified when I post new videos, and check out some of my videos right over here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!